path with very little input for a great deal of the game, there are paths you can take along the way for bonuses if you're willing to use precious key spheres. And eventually, with the use of skill spheres and whatnot, characters can break out of their role a little, allowing for say Yuna, the white mage, to learn black mage spells and become an offensive powerhouse with Drain, which is what I ended up doing. It sounds and looks confusing, but it's all very simple to understand and ultimately allows for a pretty decent amount of experimentation, while still having characters fit into their usual playstyle. Motherfuck! Seriously, I'm buying the patent for that Star Wipe.
Alright lads, time to make a video. Huh.
The first of many tentacle-themed enemies. There are a lot. Enemy with tentacles has an attack called Tentacles. Cock-a-doodle-doo, what do you want? It's only 10% guano.
I didn't get a chance to. Everyone thought we were a fiend.
We?
Oh, we means you.
Well, that's not confusing. I bet the whole Albed language was created in such a way just to make that joke.
So I told her everything there was to tell about Xanarkin.
Maybe you just had some kind of dream?
Ha! Sin's pretty close to the Albed right now, so why aren't they getting sick from Sin's toxin? If it's because you have to be even closer, which I don't know how exactly, how does anyone know if the toxin's a thing? If you're that close to Sin, you may as well kiss your ass goodbye. Tidus survives this. First the toxin, now this. No wonder Tidus has no idea what's going on half the time. This Blitzball.
You know, amateur. Who you play for?
The Xanarkin Abes.
What team you say again?
I got too, close to Sin, and my head's all foggy like.
Dude, I wish I could just say racial slurs and pass them off as my autism or something. Oh, wait.
I'm Waka, coach and captain of the Besaid Aurochs, brother.
John DiMaggio isn't bending girders in this scene. Can we just talk about Tidus' running animation? The way he just clomps around? No one runs like that. I guarantee you no one runs like that. Apparently throwing a blitzball at an enemy is enough to kill them. So wait, how did Tidus survive when he got zonked in the head before? The ball also effortlessly returns to Waka despite not having any of the characteristics of a boomerang. Also, does water just work differently in Spira? That ball just slices straight through water as if it was still thin air. Props to them thinking of a more unique weapon for a change though, rather than swords or staves. Tidus could hear Waka laughing from underwater. Fireflies?
A major blitz tournament's coming up. All the teams in Spira will be there. It's so huge, I'm sure someone there will recognize you. You can go back to your old team, right?
Spira's Blitzball League only has 6 teams made up of 6 or 7 players, so Waka probably should have heard of Tidus if he's been playing Blitzball for as long as we've been led to believe.
I joined the Aurochs at 13, 10 years ago. 10 years, and we never won a game.
You'd think after 10 years of straight losses that the team would just give up, no? Also, 10 years? Really?
No. If I say what's our goal, you say victory.
Now, Tidus, don't go handing out false promises.
Be on guard. There are fiends on the road today.
As opposed to any other day where fiends are also present.
Who are they?
Luzu and Gata, Crusaders.
Crews of what?
Understandable that you don't know who they are, but have you never heard the word Crusaders before?
You do remember the prayer, right?
This completely pointless choice. Tidus, back up, man. They're hands. You never seen them before or something?
Any blitzball player would know that prayer. It was the blitzball sign for victory.
You sure didn't think of that when everyone praised Yevon on the beach. Also, if you know it so well, why are you so bad at it? You don't gotta T-pose into it, dude.
The hero Mihen formed the Crusaders 800 years ago as the Crimson Blades. Later, our ranks grew and we called ourselves the Crusaders. We've been fighting Sin ever since.
What? You've been fighting 800 years and you still haven't beat it?
Tidus would be good at gaming sins.
You could at least go see how they are doing.
The pronoun game exists even in Spira.
It's been nearly a day already. People are searching for him now.
Who cares whether he comes back or not?
Do you hate him so? But if he dies, you'll never be able to tell him how much you hate him.
Good on the game for sticking to this, actually. Instead of Tidus injecting meeting again and Tidus being all like, "I missed you, Danny." Nice change of pace.
There's a room in there called the Cloister of Trials. Beyond is where the apprentice summoner prays.
So someone is in there somewhere and they haven't come back out. Right, I got it.
A day's already gone by.
Damn, they spent a day in there? How? On one hand, this is the easiest cloister of trials hands down and takes minutes to solve. On the other hand, how long does it take to pray to the faith? Just waltz in there and demand your big titty bird. It can't be that hard.
Is it particularly dangerous in there?
No.
Sometimes, yes.
Waka, what the fuck?
Why don't you go in and help?
There's already guardians in there. Besides, it's forbidden.
For more guardians to go in there? What? Yevon, give me answers, please. Ah, yes, the Cloister of Trials. Personally, one of my least favorite parts of this game. They're frankly just tedious, boring, and don't really involve that much logic at all. You can only carry one sphere at any time, and unless you've done these parts before, there's just a lot of trial and error involved. For you Ratchet and Clank fans watching, imagine the Clank levels, but significantly worse. Main character has heterochromia cliche.
I've done it. I have become a summoner.
Want to try that line again? I'm still not 100% sure why I chose to name myself after Valifor, especially considering the giant pair of melons she's got, but Valifor is the best Aeon, and you're not allowed to argue.
Let me introduce you to the team. This guy here wants into the tournament so bad, I let him on the team.
Which means one of you assholes who's been with the team for years and has been putting their all into it is getting benched. Sorry, lads.
Stay away from the summoner!
Lady Yuna, be careful.
But it was really my fault to begin with. Thank you so much for your help earlier.
He did nothing to help, unless you count going against the teachings help.
So, tomorrow then.
Tomorrow?
We're going on the same boat, aren't we?
Oh, really?
We can talk more.
Literal ship tease.
He does look a lot like Chapu. I was surprised too, the first time I saw him.
He looks nothing like Chapu. They may as well share completely different DNA structures, that's how much they don't look alike. Lady, how many belts do you need? You trying to tell me something? I'm down for that kinky shit.
You shouldn't have brought him here in the first place.
Yeah, but he needed our help.
Excuses again?
So Waka shouldn't have brought Tidus here because he allegedly looks like Chapu? That's it? I think if you find a man floating in the ocean, his safety is more important than whether he looks like some dead guy.
Where's Yuna?
We're taking the same boat as Yuna, right? Why do we gotta wait here?
This is our journey. We should leave together.
Yeah, but fuck Kamari, he can catch up later.
If you can't beat him down, you gotta use magic of an element they don't like.
Very gracious of these fiends to let Waka and Lulu explain combat mechanics.
Spells of ice work well against fire fiends. And ice fiends are weak against fire magic. Lightning and water are opposed, just like fire and ice.
Lightning and water being opposed to each other kind of makes sense, but fire and ice? Fire would be good against ice, but have you tried throwing ice at a fire? It's just gonna get decimated. I wouldn't have expected anything less, but damn, Final Fantasy X was a good looking game for its time. Sure, there's a bit of trickery going on here and there with pre-rendered backgrounds and varying quality of characters and cutscenes and gameplay segments, but some of the areas in this game are still beautiful to this very day. No one stops in to stop Tidus and Kamari slicing each other up for some reason. It's implied that Kamari is testing Tidus, but never mind that when he's got a spear impaled through his chest. Why did Kamari drop a blitzball? You ever do something naughty and your mum puts soap in your mouth so then you're leaning over the toilet crying and throwing up at the same time? That's what this kid sounds like. Yeah, that's a Carl Barron joke. If you haven't watched him, please unsubscribe.
Oh, those fascinating clothes you're wearing.
Not much better than yours, midriff boy. Although Tidus' clothes are a bit of an anomaly. What's up with the complete lack of symmetry? Weird armored arm on one side, longer pants leg on the other. He's literally one leg short of a pair of pants.
What the heck is that? What is this place? Yeah, but why the big birds? Chocobos. Those are chocobos?
Discount Metal Gear Solid.
She's the daughter of High Summoner Braska. You saw his statue at the temple. Lord Braska defeated Sin 10 years ago.
Tidus never bothers to ask why Sin is still here even though Braska defeated Sin 10 years ago, instead waiting until someone explains the calm to him before questioning it. Hey man, sure, let's all practice above water, the one place where we don't play blitzball. The ball practically slices through water anyway, so who cares? Fireflies, bitches! Lean in, idiot.
You're a blitzball player, aren't you? From Xanarkand, right?
You hear that from Waka?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Waka doesn't believe me at all.
And Waka is right to think so. Xanarkand has been in ruins for 1,000 years and literally everybody knows this. Why does Yuna choose to believe Tidus, and even Jack, who told her about his Xanarkand, even knowing this?
A man named Jack told me. He was my father's guardian.
Tidus's father was Yuna's father's guardian, because of course.
Why, that's the day that Jecht came to Spira.
But,
It's true, I first met Jecht 10 years and 3 months ago.
If a scene in any game or anime were an advocate for subs over dubs, it would be this. Luckily, Tidus equips iron boots while hanging onto Yuna, because he sure as hell ain't holding onto anything here. Oh no, the all-powerful world destroyer Sin approaches! Whatever will we do to quell the mad beast? Oh, okay, whatever works for you, man. Sin has 140,000 HP. Sin's side fins have 65,000 HP each. Sin's top fin? 2,000. Don't think too hard on it. Tentacles. Let's put a mother cradling her newborn child in there for maximum emotion. Is it bad if I laugh? Sin sucks up all these dudes in their homes, but gives up on the boat it just attacked because some dude threw a ball at his fin. What's up with the perspective in this shot? It makes Kilika look like a tiny rock they could just glide over at maximum speed.
What's ascending? Are we going somewhere?
Discount Jesus. Beautiful scene right here. Definitely worth a couple of wins, I think. The CG looks a little dated now, but even so, Yuna's mournful dance is practically iconic at this point, and further drives home the theme of death that lingers over the entire game. If this sending is how the dead are prevented from becoming fiends, then there must be a real summoner shortage, which sounds like something Spirit can't afford to exactly skimp out on. Of all the things to fix in the remaster, the fact that a boy saying he wants to be a blitzball when he grows up is not one of them means that Final Fantasy X is just a $30 shitpost. Final Fantasy X may not have the best battle themes in the series, personal opinion, shut up, but damn if it doesn't have some of the best field themes, dude. Oh boy, more tentacles! Seriously, do we need a tentacle counter?
As I recall, Lord Braska had only 2 guardians. Quality over quantity, my dear.
Tell that to Activision. Ayo! Surprised Tidus was allowed this far in, considering he's not a guardian yet.
Hey, I'm not a guardian, so I'm not supposed to go in, right?
Not a guardian, you say?
What's Donna Kebab doing here? Wasn't she just leaving? She couldn't have come back to mess with Tidus without previously knowing he wasn't a guardian yet. Cloister of Trials. Yuna and her posse just moseyed on through here earlier, so why does Tidus have to solve the puzzles again?
Yuna will be the one to suffer the consequences.
This is the second time it's happened and nothing has come of it. Maybe your teachings are a load of toss.
That song we heard there, in the temple, I knew it from my childhood. It was proof that Spira and Xanarkin were connected. Somehow.
Of course they were connected. Xanarkin is on the very northern edge of Spira. And let's not forget the Machina War between Xanarkin and Bevelle. Was everyone in Xanarkin a century ago just super oblivious to the rest of the outside world? Okay, wait, actually, apparently Dream Xanarkin is a version of Xanarkin that exists far out into the ocean, and all of its inhabitants believe it to be the entirety of the world. Damn, alright, poking holes in this game is a lot harder than it was with Ratchet and Clank. Still kinda stupid if you think about it, but I'll let you off this time with a win. Whatever the fuck Tidus is doing here. I like Valifor a lot, it's in my name for Christ's sake, but Ifrit's Overdrive is 100 times more badass. Overkill indeed.
Mind spotting me some gil again, lad?
Clicking yes, which in this situation would mean I do mind yes, results in you lending gil. But who rolled the ball?
You can't do it. No, you can't do. You can't. You can't. You're out of your league. You're out of your league.
Before we had Xenoblade Chronicle 2's Think You Can Beat Me, Don't Forget Me, there was You can't. All the teams are only just arriving, so who the heck is playing in the stadium? Is this the equivalent of kids footy before the actual teams come out and play real footy? Because who the fuck watches that?
Over there! The ships carrying the players are arriving now!
Tom Kenny isn't being a sentient sponge in this scene.
Looks like all of Luca has turned out to cheer the goers on!
Yeah, all 12 of them. Evil Pope. Oh, he's a villain, isn't he? You can't have literal fucking scythes for hair and not be a villain. Oh, that wasn't creepy at all, Seymour. Not one bit. Please, continue to ogle your future wife in front of a massive crowd.
We're playing the Albed Sykes first.
The Albed are allowed to play at a Yevon-endorsed Blitzball tournament.
If we win, we're in the finals.
That's not how tournaments work. If there were 4 teams, sure, but how the heck do you fairly propose a 6-team tournament? Why didn't they have Bevelle and the Hypello participate to round it off? Oh wait, that means we would have had to play Blitzball 2 or 3 times in a row, and, yeah, no. Possible Mercy win?
First things first. Let's go over the basics again, boys.
And skip.
Albed Sykes, right? If you meet Riku, tell her thanks for me.
Yes, tell Riku thanks in the language you cannot understand.
Yuna!
What was that?
In 17 years, Yuna has never heard anyone whistle, apparently.
Blitzball is really the only entertainment that we have. Spira's a little short on fun these days.
Can't at least get some performers happening? Some singers, bands, actors to put on plays or something? Surely not everyone in Spira would like Blitzball. I mean, I'd probably off myself if I had to live in Spira.
Kamari, Yuna's gone!
Literally no one notices Yuna goes missing in this field cafe, nor notices the Albed kidnapping her, assuming she didn't just wander off and get kidnapped later. Either way.
Yuna's been kidnapped by the Albed Sykes.
And in the short period of time that Yuna's gone missing, Lulu already knows everything. This is awfully contrived.
In exchange for her safe return, they want the Aurochs to lose.
If the Albed kidnapped Yuna to use her as a bargaining chip in exchange for the Aurochs throwing the game, that means they mustn't have been very good blitzball players, so what do they hope to accomplish in the finals against the Goers? Piss all, most likely. Lulu, Tidus and Kamari take on the Albed Marketer, while any guards who should be dealing with the situation are on lunch break, I guess. Protecting the Master's vessel, sure mate. You can't see the time or the scoreboard on this monitor. Tidus and Kamari maybe, but no way did Lulu and her 10,000 belts make that jump. No way. The crane thing is an interesting idea, but it takes off 5/6 of the boss H. Oh my god. 5/6. Why did I write 5/6? You get the point. What?
The game!
Good luck getting back to the game, Tidus, because holy shit, how far out to sea are they? Lulu cast a flare, even though Lulu doesn't have flare yet, therefore cheating the entire sphere grid. Only a minute has passed since Tidus and friends went out to sea, rescued Yuna, and then, presumably, swam back. A single minute!
Unbelievable! The Aurochs win the match 3-2.
They didn't even need Tidus, they just needed to believe in themselves or some shit.
Don't go near Albed anymore, okay? They're trouble.
That's racist. Senseless vandalism. I will never understand Blitzball. Never mind the fact that it doesn't look nearly as cool as the game made it look in one of the opening cutscenes, and also the fact that people are traveling from all over to watch a couple of games that last a whopping 10 minutes, but I've tried my hardest to understand it. I've read guides, watched videos, and played game after game, and I will never understand how it works. Doesn't help that it's also a janky mess with a camera that changes at inopportune moments and a super cheap AI who thought menu-based sports were a good idea. And they expect you to play a shitload of games after this to get Wakka's celestial weapon. Fuck that right off. 20 sins. The goalkeeper's name is Keeper. I've heard of names defining your path in life, but this is ridiculous. Never mind where all these fish dudes are coming from, at least Tidus remembered to bring his sword into the Blitzball arena. Instead of running from their impending deaths, the crowd continues to cheer and watch as the Blitzers are attacked. Sadistic pricks. Ooh, I'm getting chills. Orin for best character, anyone? Seizure warning, damn it! Man, stop it with the cool Aeon designs already. It's getting harder and harder to defend Valor for, you know. Look at this cute little long-eared doggo. We must protect him.
Shouldn't you heal up first? Yuna needs me with her now.
Just use Cure, doofus.
Hey you! Don't just stand there! All of this is your fault! Getting swallowed by sin, ending up here in Spira, not being able to go back to Xanarkand, everything! I'm telling you, it's all your fault!
The rest of this video is just going to be giving out wins because of Orin, isn't it?
Is he alive?
It depends on what you mean by alive. You must have felt him when you came in contact with sin.
It can't be.
It is. Sin is Jecht.
Now how's about that for a nice first act twist? I think it works really well, gets you more curious about the hows and whys of it all. Why is Sin here, despite being defeated 10 years ago? How does Jecht become Sin? It's a good motivation for pushing forward with the story and learning more about the world, and the answers lead to more interesting questions. I forgot my point. Good twist, subtle foreshadowing, 10 out of 10.
Fine then. Come or don't come, it's your decision.
The line that sailed 1,000 ships.
A lot of people in Spira depend on us. I learned to practice smiling when I'm feeling sad, you know.
Yeah, that's right, kiddos. Cover up those feelings with a smile and pretend like nothing's wrong. What a good moral. You knew it was coming, so let's just get it out of the way.
really shouldn't laugh anymore.
All laughing aside, I'm giving this scene a pity win, because I'm not sure some of you guys are aware of how acting works, but you know this laughing was supposed to be awkward, right? That's the point of the damn scene. And make sure you thank Jesus every night before bedtime that you didn't have to watch this scene in Japanese, because somehow, if you could believe it, it's worse. Just want to address something real quick. I was supposed to give Ifrit's Overdrive 10 wins, but instead I sinned it because I'm a dickhead. So let's take that sin off and slap those wins on, baby. From this point on is where the combat starts to come into its own. For a little while the game is nothing more than pick the right party member for the job, but once stronger enemies start appearing, this small detriment ultimately becomes one of the best parts of the combat. Each party member has a defined role. Tidus can hit faster enemies, Waka can hit flying enemies, Lulu kills flans and elementals, and so on, which means unlike some other RPGs where you just pick your favorites and off you go, Final Fantasy X encourages you to make full use of your party, and no one gets underutilized, with the exception of maybe Kamari, who is malleable and can fit a variety of roles due to blue mage status. It's a great combat system with some fantastic bosses that make full use of these mechanics. This is helped even further by having the ability to switch characters on the fly by hitting L1 without sacrificing your turn, further encouraging you to use everyone in your party. I love this system, and I wish more games would use it, to be honest. Orange shows signs of dementia as he attempts to chug the jug that does not exist. Tidus is addicted to blitzballs. One of my favorite things about this game, when Yuna summons an Aeon while one of the active party members is KO'd, they get up and run off screen, but then when the Aeon is dismissed, it's like, oh fuck!
Are you all?
What great.
This might be the last time we can rest like this.
Oddly presumptuous, what makes you say that? Do you know something we don't, Lulu?
Pretty.
We interrupt this video game to bring you Stranger Things.
What did we do that was so bad in the first place? Was it using lots of Machina or something? Wait, was that such a bad thing, really?
Ever since I was young, I never questioned it.
Religious worship and never questions the teachings, even though they're obviously wrong cliché.
You see, Yuna, what I mean is, you really shouldn't worry, you know? After we beat Sin, that's when you can worry about the future.
Hello to Sadwi.
Huh?
It means nice to meet you.
Ah, well, Heli do sad we to you too.
L-bed primers can be found all over Spira. Finding them and learning our language might be fun.
Sounds like a massive pain in the ass to teach someone your language by having them find 26 books, each giving them knowledge of a single letter. Though, tying a collectible to the translation of an in-game language is a great way to actually get people to find your collectibles. It's pretty neat, man. I call everything neat. I need a bigger vocabulary. A boss that punishes you by knocking you off a cliff and forcing you to take the long way around. Cool idea, even though we're gonna go down that path anyway for all the chests and stuff. What's the point of resting at inns if the save spheres get the job done just the same? Bit of an oversight, methinks. The game doesn't play Crazy Chocobo while riding a chocobo. I'm sure some of you would count that as a win, but that's a sin in my books. Don't judge. Oh shit, sorry, left my antagonist theme music playing. Hey, how you doing?
Both the Crusaders and the Al-Bed truly wish peace for Spira.
But using Machina, that's bad, isn't it?
Pretend you didn't see them.
Beg your pardon, but that's not something a maester should say.
Then pretend I didn't say it.
My villain radar is going off the charts. Or maybe it's my gaydar, I'm not sure. Still, early voice acting aside, Seymour's a pretty cool bad guy. So much of his dialogue is memorable and suitably sinister. I take back what I said about Final Fantasy X having good field themes. What the fuck even is this song anyway? There's no discernible melody or motif, and it's way too repetitive. That's not where you're supposed to put a mask, mate, unless you've got a literal dickhead. If there's one thing to criticize about 10's combat, it's how repetitive the enemies get. There's really only a couple dozen individual types of enemies in the game, which end up just being palette swapped several times throughout, and all of them pretty much require the same strategy to beat. Some more enemy variety would have been welcome.
It's about your brother. I'm the one who convinced him to enlist.
When we used to play Blitz together, Chapu used to say, he said that when we won the cup, yeah, he proposed to Lulu.
And now Waka gets sloppy seconds. Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the world's most awkward hug.
Just tell me one thing. Have you seen Zanarkand?
It's safe to assume that the Maesters don't know about Dream Zanarkand, and there's really nothing of note in the ruins of Zanarkand apart from obtaining the final Aeon, so what exactly did Keenock mean by this? The moonwalk for a new generation.
Go to Yuna.
I'm a little nervous.
Okay. Don't know how this giant thing got up so high considering it's got no wings, but whatever. Up till now the game has been pretty easy, but this is where the game grabs you by the balls and demands your attention, because if you ain't paying attention, you will die quite easily. I love this fight because of how multi-layered it is compared to anything we've seen before, and even though I'm not big on Ten's battle themes, I really like the one that plays here. And this is only the start of the fantastic boss battles. Oh boy. Mind you, I'm a bit uncomfortable with it showing off its gash like that. Cover up already, jeez. Operation Red Shirt is a go. Oh no, the animation budget ran out. Seriously dude, seizure warning. Yevon, I don't feel so good. Seymour has impressive strength for someone who is essentially just a black mage with the ability to summon.
Stand back, Lady Yuna.
Yes.
She says while proceeding to not stand back. Child me was so excited at the prospect of playing as Seymour because I was like, oh wow, he's gonna be a party member. One sin for stabbing me in the back, you piece of shit. Reclining, breathless. So, me on a daily basis. Acha-cha.
Sin is checked.
Thanks for the recap, old man.
In dark times, she must be. She must shine bright.
John DiMaggio isn't being that other racist party member in this scene.
Smile, let me see. Is that the Jose Temple?
Anyone else just stand here thinking it's a cutscene? Come on, show of hands. I bet you it was every single one of you.
I am Isaru. I am a summoner. Like you.
I'm Bussy.
The heck is a child gonna do for you as a guardian, apart from winch for food, warmth, and V-Bucks?
Isaru, I don't want the default skin. It makes me look like a noob.
We're all out of healing potions. I don't know, maybe just pop out to the inn 3 fucking meters away then.
Ain't much future for a guardian without a summoner, eh?
What? What y'all talking about?
I, a small child of 3 feet, am unable to hear anything that is taller than me. Oh, what a curse. Cloister of Trials. The gang's all going through the trial together this time around, and yet we can still only carry 1 sphere at a time.
You are Orin, no? Can I shake your hand?
Orin, please, shake my hand. But here, let me flex the fuck out first, bro.
Really, there's no rush. Here. Your hair.
A summoner with bad hair. What's the world coming to?
Bad hair, they say, as Yuna's appearance remains as untouched as every female character who has to trek through the most treacherous of jungles in every movie ever.
We can all learn a lesson from what has happened to the Crusaders.
I play games to escape from Jehovah's Witnesses hounding me in my own home. Do you think I need them in my video games as well?
It's Kimari's problem. We can't interfere. It's a rule.
Hang on a sec.
We can't interfere. It's a rule.
Oh no, the voice acting budget ran out too. Best field theme in the game, hands down, except for maybe the Zanarkand Ruins one. Earning new overdrive modes, the conditions under which your overdrive charges, takes way too long in my opinion. Some characters will barely have any new overdrive modes before the end of the game, and so they're left to take damage to charge the meter instead of anything else, which is less than desirable. Discount My Little Pony, or maybe upgraded My Little Pony. I don't think it's as cool as most of the other Aeons, but if Ixion is one of the weaker designs in the Aeon lineup, that's really saying something. Aeons obviously have to take orders from the summoner who summoned them, but would they really attack other summoners like that? It's all but confirmed that each Aeon is its own entity. There are no copies, because if someone like Belgamine here summons an Aeon, Yuna can't summon the same one. So what, even if Ixion here knows who Yuna is, it's still gonna shove its horn in Yuna's chest because someone else said so?
This is the Moonflow.